Welcome back to another Roasted Reptiles video. Today we are going to be showing you guys what we're putting in our meat mix this go around. So we always get questions asking, what do we feed our tegus, our baby tegus, adult tegus? Well, I'm about to show you guys. So this is our good old trusty grinder here. Love this thing. Facebook Marketplace. Always be searching for those deals, because that thing was incredible find. But in the bucket already, or the tub, we have a bunch of catfish and chicken already ground up. So there's about 80 pounds of chicken in here and 60 pounds of catfish, right? How many? No, about 40 pounds of catfish. So 80 pounds of chicken, 40 pounds of catfish in here, and then you see some organ meat on top, because that is what we're grinding up now. All right, so come with me down here. What is left to grind on top of the chicken and catfish? We've got a bunch of chicken liver here. Tegus just love it. Full of vitamins and minerals. And then we've got the chicken hearts there. Right here we've got the blueberries. I've never met a tegu that doesn't like blueberries. Okay, they go crazy for really any berries that we offer them. And then here is something that I've been preaching about for years now, but some of you probably don't know what it is. But this right here, this is grub pie. So it comes in a powder. You mix it with boiling water and it turns into this little cube. Okay, so this is amazing. The #1 ingredient in grub pie, it's made by Rapashi, is black soldier fly larva. So fantastic ingredients in this. I love using this in my meat mix, and it's a good way to get insects into your tegus without actually having to deal with live insects. So, and then for fruit, we're going to be doing some papaya. So one thing I always see from people is they say their tegu doesn't like fruit or their tegu doesn't like papaya, but I think a big mistake a lot of people make when feeding their tegus fruit is they get fruit that isn't completely ripe yet. So even this could have a couple more days of, ripening. But what you want with your papaya is you want it to be orange and red all over, and you want it to have a little squish to it. You want it to be soft and squishy right at that point where if that papaya was on the tree, it would be falling off onto the ground for the tegu to find it, right? So with any of your fruit that you're feeding, bananas is another one. I see people feeding bananas that are solid yellow. Sometimes they'll even have a little green on them still. Your tegus aren't really going to like that. So they want the bananas to be turning brown, soft, and mushy, where all those sugars are coming to the surface. So make sure when you're picking out fruit, you're picking out stuff that is completely ripe. Doing grocery pickup, which is what we love to do, doesn't always work when we're shopping for things for our meat mix, because you need to be the one picking it out to make sure that your papaya is kind of squishy and that your bananas are starting to turn brown. Another thing I like to add in my meat mix is this fruit right here in my hand. Yeah, you might be thinking that's not a fruit, but it is. Squash. So yellow squash, I add that into my meat mix almost every single time. So I recommend adding yellow squash into your meat mix. And then another thing I like to add in is carrots. So I just buy them shredded. I don't even put them through the grinder, just dump them straight into the meat mix. They get some shredded carrots in their diet. A lot of people like to feed vegetables to their tegus. It's something I have done in the past, but here currently in the last few years, my vegetables in my meat mix have gone way down. So there are some root vegetables that I add, such as carrots and sweet potatoes, but leafy greens, things like that, I just don't add anymore. I don't think tegus need it. Now, do I think it's going to hurt a tegu to have it? Absolutely not. It will not hurt them. If you add collard greens into your meat mix and your tegu eats it, that's totally fine. Keep doing it, whatever. But I personally don't do it. I give my collard greens to my iguanas and my tortoises, not to the tegus. So yeah, so as far as vegetables go, I add some root vegetables and that's it. But I add lots of fruit. So lots of fruit, even things that you might not consider it fruit, like yellow squash. I add a bunch of that in, and berries. So the next thing we're going to be adding in is the supplements, but first we're going to grind all this up and then I'll show you what supplements we add into our meat mix. First possible thing that could happen right now is this tub breaking, because we did the math, there's about 200 pounds of meat mix in this tub. So the next thing that we're going to do is add our supplements. So the supplement that I'm using right now is the Sticky Tongue Farms. They have it for indoor or outdoor. This mix right here is mostly for babies, so it's going to be the indoor calcium and mineral supplements. The way you use the Sticky Tongue supplements is half a teaspoon per pound. And so for 200 pounds, we're gonna be adding 2 cups of the calcium powder. So what this calcium powder is it's pretty much making up for the things that they're not getting in their diet if they were out in the wild eating all whole prey, and they would be getting more minerals and more calcium in their diet from bones and from things like that. So we're gonna add this in. That's a hot half a cup there. So I need 4 of these. It's like baking a cake, man. It's the powdered sugar. All right, so that is the calcium that we're going to be using. And then there's lots of different supplements that you can add, like hibiscus powder, bee pollen. These are things that I've added in the past. Salmon oil is another one that I really like to add to it. I see my jug's just about empty, so we're actually going to finish it off this time. So you can see there, salmon oil. I like to add that in, and I've never had a tegu not like it. So salmon oil is fantastic. It's good for their skin, and it's just full of vitamins and minerals that they need. So the next step here, you guys, is I have this little mixer attached to the drill. That's the first step, is just to get it mixed up a little bit, and then you really just got to get in there with your hands and stir it on up. So, but all right, we're gonna mix this up, and then we're gonna box it up, and I'll be back with you guys. What you want to see in your meat mix is variety. You know, just put as much stuff as you can in there that the tegus can eat. They can eat such a wide range of things, and whenever you're mixing it up, you want to see. Look at all this color in here. Look at all this. There's so much color because there's so much variety in here. You know where that pot went?
No clue.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I looked for
you're just fisting it. Oh my gosh. Holy, so that's why Tony gets paid the big bucks. Anybody looking for a job at Rose City Reptiles? This is what you get to do. This is what we were looking for to mix it up. This is actually what we use to scoop it into the container. So
I can't. I'm gonna gag.
he does that every time. Tony does that every time. Nephew took one for the team there and got it mixed up while I was looking for our little scooper here. So, but yeah, so take a look at it. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. To a tegu, this is beautiful. Look at that. Look at all the variety. Every single bite. Like I see a papaya seed right there, piece of liver, a carrot, heart, some chicken, some catfish, right? That's the whole idea, is just to get that variety. Every time you feed them, you're giving them variety. So this is what I would say is our staple diet for the tegus. Now, of course, we're feeding other things as well. Like yesterday, I fed all the tegus a whole fish that I bought from the Chinese grocery store and some eggs. I'm not always feeding the same thing. We're also mixing it up, but most days, this is what they're going to be eating. And I love it. It works out really well for us, and doing it ourselves has been the best way to do it for an affordable price, right? So yeah, 200 pounds of meat mix. Now we're gonna box it up so we can put it in the freezer. I'll be back with you guys once it's all packaged up, looking pretty with a bow on top. You guys, we now have the meat mix all packaged up, ready to go in the freezer. It always feels so good to have the freezers fully stocked. And in case anyone's curious, I'm sure everybody's curious on what this cost us. So this was 200 pounds of meat mix, and it cost about $475 to $500 to make all of this right here. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Drop questions down in the comments below if you have questions about meat mix or anything like that, and I'm sure somebody will answer your question, or I might answer your question. So thank you guys for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.